Welcome back to Fett's Legacy, everyone. I'm here today to talk about the latest episode of Andor and why I believe almost everything that went wrong is all because of Vel and her poor leadership skills. But before we get into that, I just want to say I apologize for the delay since my last upload. I had my wisdom teeth removed, and so it was very difficult for me to talk and be able to record. Starting to feel a little bit better, so I wanted to bring this video out to you guys. And before we move on, I just wanted to say thank you all for helping me reach over 150 subscribers. We're now at, I think, 165, so thank you all so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the support, especially on the latest video for Yaddle and the Tales of the Jedi trailer. I mean, the support has been absolutely amazing, guys. I really appreciate all of it. And please like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. Let's get right into why I think most of the deaths in this episode fall on their leader's hands, on Vel. So guys, we start off at the beginning of the episode, pretty much, towards the beginning at least, when they're trying to sync up their radios, and we know that most of this plan is designed by Nemik, one of the rebels, along with Cassian and Skeen, Tamarin, all of them, Cinta. So Nemik has been coming up with most of the plan. He's the one who has the radio, and they're trying to calibrate, to sync up their radio so they can communicate. And so assuming that he's basically designed all of it, he's probably decided where their radio should be, and they're trying to sync it up, and he says, go up 5 points, and there's still nothing. And then he says, go up another 3. And so what I think this means, and is one of the reasons why I think it is her fault, I think she did not sync her radio properly to the channel that they needed to be on, which ended up further down the line, spoiler warning of course, the Imperials being able to listen in on their conversation and get a squad together and then go and fire on them and kill many of them. So them not syncing their channel, their radio, to the correct frequency as they probably should have, allowed the Empire to listen in and eventually get them all killed. Now, this isn't the only reason, but it's more speculation on my part because they had to go up an extra time. They had the station or the channel that they wanted to be on, and they were not getting any response from Vel or Cinta, and then they went up more to try and match up with them and sync up their radio and moved on from there. So I think Vel, or it could be Cinta, but Vel is the leader here. Later, when they actually get to the base and they place that disruptor or some sort of jamming device for their communications to not be able to have any radio contact besides that one channel that they were synced up on. So when she places that jammer sort of thing by that little Imperial tower up top, and then she goes with Cinta to go and rappel down, and they're trying to and Echo 1 is, trying to contact Valley 1, which is, their code for, Cassian and Tamarin and Nemik's team, trying to contact Vel and Cinta. They are trying to get to them multiple times, calling in Echo 1, and they're not getting a response, and it's because Vel is hesitating, and she's clearly nervous and scared, and so Vel is not calling back to them as they're trying to call in Echo 1, and she's just sitting there, hyperventilating. She's clearly nervous and scared, and she's delaying it. So this gives extra time in between when they start the mission for, them to start figuring out that the communication is blocked, and for people to start figuring out what's going on, be more suspicious. But this isn't a huge deal, I guess. But her delaying the mission is another reason why I do think Vel is not a good leader. Now, we do learn that, I think she's very new to this. When Luthen meets with Vel and brings her Cassian, it says, you wanted this. You wanted to be a leader. This is what it takes. So she probably asked for this. We do know that they've been planning this for, I think, 7 years, they said. So this is probably her first time actually going on the mission. Her first time leading, with real people's lives on her hands. And I don't think she's really ready for it. And so it really does show in her behavior during this episode, because it's pretty clear that she can't handle the pressure. Now again, by making this delay that she does, she gives them less time later to actually load the credits onto the ship, which means, when eventually Lieutenant Gorn actually gets down there and he says, you guys are supposed to be leaving by now, it shows that, they're behind schedule, and it gives, the Imperials extra time to figure out what they're doing and show up, and the rest. And so earlier on, when she is giving her monologue and talking to the Imperials, the hierarchy, and, saying, that's what the Empire would do if everyone gives us what we want, they would walk away. She does not have to explain all of this. She does not have to keep talking. She does not have to give speeches during this time. I understand she wants to be a leader to motivate, but during this time, they're under a crunch time and they have to go fast. And so by wasting this time, it gives them less time to load the credits, which lets them get caught. And one final thing, in the firefight, she takes up a very poor position right in the middle with barely any cover, and there's no way she can really poke out and even get any shots off without basically dying. And so she calls out saying, I'm pinned down, which forces Tamron to go and try and cover for her, which ends up getting him killed in the end. So, I can't blame this solely on her. It was Tamron's choice to go out there and run right out in the open. I mean, I think that was a pretty poor decision as well, but she got herself in a very bad position, which led to her, being pinned down and unable to move, unable to help. And obviously the Imperials had the high ground, and we all know the high ground in Star Wars is the most overpowered and strongest thing you can have. Basically, what I'm saying is she's not a great tactician, she's not great under pressure, and she doesn't really know how to lead that well. And so it was risky putting her in charge of this mission that could make or break the rebellion. This is basically the start of the rebellion. I think this large amount of credits was how they funded a lot of the rebellion. They said it was something ridiculous, like 80 million credits, I think, which could go forward to fund a lot of the ships, repairs, crew, a lot of the stuff that the rebellion does have when we see them in Empire Strikes Back and just the original trilogy in general, A New Hope and all of that. So seeing them with all those ships and all those people, they need food, they need supplies, they need ammo. How does that happen? They clearly got it from robbing the Empire. And so they completed their mission, don't get me wrong. The mission was pretty much a suicide mission anyway. And so again, it's not all on her. And they still got it done at the end of the day. But I think if she made some better decisions, led a little bit better, and was a little bit more prepared, maybe someone like Tamron could have survived. Maybe someone like Nemik could have survived. We don't know. And I mean, even maybe Lieutenant Gorn could have survived. Now, one thing I do want to say is this episode was really, really good. Don't take any of my criticisms, wrong. I'm actually just putting it on the character. I think it's a really well-written episode and a really beautiful episode. I mean, the storm was just absolutely incredible to see. It was one of the best looking pieces of Star Wars content I think I've ever seen. So, this episode was really, really good, really well written, and I just think she's just not a great leader, and I think they told that story perfectly, and I think it was intentional to show that she was, a big reason for why this mission succeeded, but in the end, a lot of the people on her team died, and I think it was a big part in her failure as a leader. But, she can grow from this if this was her first time leading, and she is pretty much, besides Cassian, the only one who lives at the end. So, maybe we'll see her in the future as a rebel, and that would be really cool. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think about the episode, and do you also think it was partially Vel's fault for a lot of the deaths that took place? Or was it unavoidable and, it was pretty much a suicide mission in the end anyway? You guys let me know, and thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support. I'll see you guys next time.